up, everyone? Metro Drive, episode 49. So we had this, another school owner posted, he was just talking. Big dialogue between several different school owners, and they're talking about how watered down jiu-jitsu is. And by and large, there's pretty much two mindsets when it comes to jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna let you guys in on kind of this little secret. It's either jiu-jitsu's for everybody. It's one mindset, or jiu-jitsu's only for, the super hard, tough guy fighter. And this was literally like the argument. It's only for fighters. Like, I'm sick of the watered down jiu-jitsu, and I'm not a fighter, okay? And if jiu-jitsu had been, I kind of stumbled on jiu-jitsu. It wasn't nearly as mainstream as it was when I started, but I sort of made the distinction with him. I was like, well, yes and no. I mean, jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of guys that do jiu-jitsu that I don't think they'd be considered fighters. They're not aggressive. They definitely don't cage fight, but they train jiu-jitsu and they do it well. And there's no end of really just nerdy. I always say it's the Peter Parkers. They're kind of nerdy guys who do well at jiu-jitsu. Fathers, sort of dad bod fathers that they just want to get in shape and they do it, and they still do jiu-jitsu. So the argument didn't sit well with me. I was like, there's plenty of non-fighters who do jiu-jitsu, so it was kind of a nonsensical sort of argument to me. But where we did agree is what they were getting at is people were complaining about it's a tough sport. And they're like, oh, I'm getting smashed by this brown and black belt. What do I do? It's their first 3 or 4 months in. And to that I would say, jiu-jitsu is not for quitters. If you hate to lose, and and that was my argument. I was obsessed with getting better. I just hated losing. And I'm the type, this is why I don't, I used to play video games a lot. And it got to the point where I was so competitive with it, I was like, I can't compete unless I devote a part-time job to this, so I'm quitting. I'm quitting the video games. Jiu-jitsu's somewhere along those same lines. You're not going to be able to just show up recreationally 8 times a year and have a great time at it. It's something you got to work at and build at a couple times a week. And so it's not for quitters. And so, if it's something that you think that, it's not for, I should also say it's not for the lobbyists. I'm going to do jiu-jitsu for 2 months, and then I'm going to go do football for 2 months, and then I'm going to go do axe throwing for 2 months. And that's not what jiu-jitsu is for. Jiu-jitsu is for people who they're looking for a change in their lifestyle a little bit. They're looking for, I mentioned this last night, guy looking to hang out more with guys, get around a good circle of good influence of guys, and get a good workout, get some stress release, and go from there. That's what jiu-jitsu is for. I wouldn't argue that it's only for cage fighters, because it's nonsensical. There's thousands, tens of thousands of people who train jiu-jitsu, thousands of black belts who aren't cage fighters. I didn't get that argument, but I would say it's not for quitters. So if you want to come in and you're like, let's do this, I'm ready for jiu-jitsu, you're going to stick with it. But to think that you're going to come and try it out for a season, then that for a season, you're not going to have a good time at it. So that was my argument. So jiu-jitsu is for everyone except for quitters. Moral of the story. Guys, I'm Coach David with Metro Jiu-Jitsu. As always, I will see you on the mats.